Hello and welcome back to part 3 of the series of videos about mediation with multiple predictors. For this video, I will talk about how to write a simple report about the results that we have produced in the prior videos. Before I continue, I'm inviting you to please like the video so that the YouTube algorithm gods will notice my efforts and promote these lectures and tutorials. Likewise, I'm inviting you to please subscribe to the channel and join the 10% of my viewers who are subscribed. Thank you very much. So this is the results that I have written in advance. So I'll walk you through what I have put in here. To recap, we are testing a model wherein we wanted to know if belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support predicts math proficiency, and if such prediction or relationship is accounted for by math engagement while controlling for age and socioeconomic status as control variables. And then we computed for those values. We analyzed our data. We have produced APA formatted tables. So those are the things that we have done for the past 2 videos. If you haven't watched those, I invite you to watch them before continuing. And now we are at a point wherein we will write the results section for those outputs. So let me walk you through the results section. Of course, the term results is in boldface and centered because this is a first level heading. And then the report goes as such. The study aims to examine whether resilience factors, including sense of belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support, predict math proficiency. Furthermore, the study also aims to test whether these relationships can be mediated by math behavioral engagement. So as you can see, typically my style in writing the report is that I first begin with reminding the readers what the objective of the study is. And then afterwards, I proceed to discuss the preliminary analysis, which is our correlations. So it says here, table 1 shows the correlations among the primary and control variables. The primary variables pertaining, of course, to our IV, mediator, and DV, and of course, our control variables pertaining to sex and ESCS. Results reveal that belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support and math engagement are all positively correlated with math proficiency. So where did I base that from? I based it from these values. So belongingness, disciplinary climate, teacher support, math engagement relating to math proficiency, all of which are positive coefficients, therefore signifying that the relationship is positive. And then immediately as I say the variables, I report the correlation coefficient. So you will notice again that R is a non-Greek statistical notation and therefore it's in italics. Furthermore, ESCS is also positively correlated with math proficiency. So this is the correlation coefficient, while females are less inclined to have higher math proficiency. This should be more inclined, not less inclined. Why? Because the coefficient is negative. So that means to say that the higher sex, the lower proficiency, the lower sex, the higher proficiency. And if we check how we coded males and females, females are coded as 0. So in terms of the code, they have the lower value. So the lower sex, which is 0, the higher the math proficiency. So females are more inclined to have higher math proficiency. And then the next section would be the report of the mediation. So you will notice in the report, I will talk about the same sequence. I'll talk about the total effect first, and that these total effects, there is an indirect effect of these predictors as explained by or as mediated by math engagement, and then the specific path coefficients, and then the residual or the direct effects. So that's the way I will report it, is exactly the way how it is organized in the table as well. You will notice also that when I report these things, I'll be reporting the standardized regression coefficients and the corresponding p-value. In some cases or in other reports, I've seen that they also report the z-value, but for simplicity's sake, these are the only values that I'll be reporting. Table 2 shows the results of the series of regression analysis that tested the mediating role of math engagement. Prior to mediation, so this is your total effect, belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support positively predicted math proficiency. And again, as I say, belongingness, in parentheses, I report the statistical values. As I say, disciplinary climate, I report the statistical values, so forth and so on. So this basically reports your total effect. And these coefficients, I got it from this. So 0.19, 0.21, and 0.30, respectively. Furthermore, math engagement mediated all of these relationships. Now, you will notice that instead of reporting all of the coefficients, I kind of simplified the results. Although one way is to say it one by one. So without sounding redundant, find a way to say that math engagement mediated the relationship between belongingness and math proficiency, disciplinary climate and math proficiency, teacher support and math proficiency. But what I try to do here, but you don't have to do this, but I'm saying that this is what I try to do, is I try to summarize or I try to synthesize all of those three by simply saying that the coefficients, plural, is 0.03. But you might wonder, we have three indirect effects, but why are you only reporting one regression coefficient? Only because that when you look at the indirect effects are all consistently 0.03. In the actual output, there's variation, of course. So 0.032, 0.033, 0.034. But of course, when I rounded this into two decimal places, all of them ended up being 0.03. And that's why I simplified those three results here with this one sentence. And then instead of P, I also reported P's, or the P values, so plural, indicating that there are three P values, all of which are also less than 0.001. Again, you don't have to do as I'm showing you in this report, but I just ended up doing this. But again, you can specify the three indirect effects, but hopefully with not so much of a redundancy. And then these are your specific path coefficients. So I said specifically belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support have positive impact on math engagement. So I'm reporting these, the belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support have a positive impact on math engagement. So I'm reporting these coefficients. Okay. And then I said, while math engagement positively influences math proficiency. So this coefficient, I got it from here. So 0.17, math engagement predicting math proficiency. And then the last part would be the direct effect. Now, nevertheless, belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support still have positive effect. Still have, I think this should be plural, this should have positive effects on math proficiency that is not accounted for by math engagement. So that would be your direct effect. And where did I got these coefficients? I got it from here. Okay, and then the last part would be a short summary of all of the results, but written in a way that can be understood by somebody who is not really very familiar with statistics. So I said here, these findings suggest that students who experience a sense of belongingness in school perceive their classmates as disciplined and receive support from their teachers. So not necessarily just simply saying sense of belongingness, disciplinary climate, and teacher support, kind of further verbalizing what these variables mean, are more likely to actively participate and engage in their math subject, which in turn leads to better performance in math. So this kind of summarizes all of the results that I have shown in this section. So that's it. So that's how you write a simple result section for the mediation model that we have tested. Again, I think the only thing unusual here is this part. So you don't have to do it this way. This is just kind of an option. But I think the better way actually would be to kind of discuss all of the indirect effects individually. All right, so that's it. I hope that you learned something. If you reached this part of the video, thank you very much. And if you learned something, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe, and more importantly, to give this video a like for the algorithm gods to notice my efforts. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video wherein we try to ask ChatGPT to do something similar to this. Bye.